Dear students, in this video we are going to study how to find the powers and the square root of the complex numbers. Let's first of all start by studying powers of iota, that's I, which is equal to under root of minus 1. So I is equal to under root of minus 1. So obviously I square I to the power 2 will be equal to minus 1. Now I cube. I cube could be written as I square into I, right? But I square is equal to minus 1, and that's why I cube is equal to minus I. I to the power 4 could be written as I square into I square, which is equal to minus 1 into minus 1. So I to the power 4 is equal to 1. Now what will be I to the power 5? Obviously I to the power 5 is equal to I to the power 4 into I, right? So power 5 is 4 plus 1, so I to the power 4 into I, but I to the power 4 is equal to 1, right? I to the power 4 is equal to 1, so I to the power 5 is equal to I. Similarly, I to the power 6 is equal to I to the power 4 into I to the power 2. Now I to the power 4 is again 1, and I square is equal to minus 1, so I to the power 6 is equal to minus 1. Now I to the power 7 is equal to I to the power 4 into I cube, right? So I to the power 4 is 1, I cube is equal to minus I, so I to the power 7 is equal to minus I. I to the power 8, okay, it will be again I to the power 4 into I to the power 4, that is 1 into 1, and that's why 1. So if we observe, what's going to happen is every fourth power, right, I to the power 4n will be equal to 1, because I to the power 4 is equal to 1, so I to the power 4n is equal to 1, that is I to the power 12, I to the power 100, I to the power 400, all the numbers which are multiples of 4 raised to I, okay, so I raised to that number will be equal to 1. Hence, a number which is of the form 4n plus 1, if we have I to the power 4n plus 1, obviously it will be equal to I to the power 4n plus 1. Hence, so I to the power 4n plus 1 is like I to the power 4n plus 2 will be always equal to I square, right? That is equal to minus 1. And I to the power 4n plus 3 will be equal to I cube, which is equal to minus I. So we can find out for any such numbers now, right? Let's say for example, I to the power 5, right? We know I to the power 5 is of the form 4n plus 1, hence I to the power 5 is equal to I, right? Now if I say I to the power 103, so I to the power 103 is of this form, right? Because 100 is multiple of 4, so multiple of 4 plus 3, so I to the power 103 will be equal to minus I, and we can do this for any integer, okay? Now by using whatever we have learned in the earlier slide, evaluate the following values. Say I to the power 35. So I to the power 35 could be written as I to the power 32 plus 3. 35 is equal to 32 plus 3. 32 is multiple of 4, right? That's why we can write I to the power 4 to the power 8 into I cube. So I to the power 4 is 1. So this value is nothing but equal to I cube, right? But I cube is equal to minus I, and that's why I to the power 35 is equal to minus I. Similarly, I to the power 2012. Now the 2012 is multiple of 4. It is of the form 4n. So it is I to the power 4 to the power 503. Obviously it will be equal to 1. Now I to the power minus 38. So for such number, we will write 1 upon I to the power 38, which is equal to I to the power 36 plus 2. Now I to the power 36 is I to the power 4 to the power 9, right? I to the power 36. 36 is multiple of 4. So this number is 1 into I square, right? But I square is equal to minus 1, and that's equal to minus 1. Similarly, I to the power minus 11, which is 1 upon I to the power 11, which could be written as I to the power 8 plus 3. So I to the power 8, value of I to the power 8 will be equal to 1, right? We can written as I to the power 4. So here it should be I to the power 4 to the power 2 actually, so into I cube. So that is equal to 1 upon 1 into I cube is equal to minus I. So we have minus 1 upon I, which is equal to minus of minus I, which is equal to I. Remember, I into I is equal to minus 1. So 1 upon I will be equal to minus I. This is the relation you should remember. We'll have to use at various places. Okay, so this is I. Now find the value of, say, I to the power 49 plus I to the power 68 plus I to the power 89 plus I to the power 110. So we will find out the individual values first. So I to the power 49, it is I to the power 48 plus 1. So multiple of 48 is multiple of 4 plus 1. So that is I to the power 4 to the power 12 into I. This is I. Similarly, I to the power 68. So I to the power 68 is multiple of 4. So I to the power 4 to the power 17, value is 1. I to the power 89, it is 88 plus 1. So obviously value will be I. I to the power 110, it is I to the power 108 plus 208 is multiple of 4. So that is equal to I square and the value is minus 1. We put all these values. Okay. Okay. So we write all these values over here. Okay. And the sum will be twice I. Okay. Now let's consider one more problem. Find the value of I to the power 10 plus I to the power 11 plus I to the power 12 up to I to the power 28. See, you can again go on finding out the values of the individual number, like what is I to the power 10, what is I to the power 11, what is I to the power 11, and then add all these values. Or there can be like this is the direct method you can use, but there is also another method. There is a shortcut method. We'll try to use this method. See, there are total 28 minus 10 plus 1, that is equal to 19 terms over here, right? So this is first, second, third, and such there are total 19 terms. Now sum of any 4 consecutive powers, right, but consecutive integer powers of I is 0. If we have 4 consecutive powers of I, then sum will always be equal to 0. So that is I to the power 4n plus I to the power 4n plus 1 plus I to the power 4n plus 2 plus I to the power 4n plus 3. So this sum is going to be equal to 0 because sum of 4 consecutive numbers, right? Sum of 4 consecutive integer powers of I is equal to 0 because this one of these numbers is 1, then another is I, then it is minus 1, right? And then it is minus I. So 1 I minus 1 minus I. So if we take consecutive numbers, these 4 numbers are going to come and the sum is going to be 0. Okay. So this is what we know. It is equal to 0. It is equal to 0. Now sum of 16 consecutive terms will also be equal to 0 then, right? Because 16 consecutive terms means 4 times 4 consecutive terms. So that means the required sum is equal to either sum of last 3 terms or the sum of first 3 terms. So it's better to take first 3 terms. I will take I to the power 10, I to the power 11, I to the power 12, right? So I to the power 10 will be equal to minus 1 because it is of the form 4n plus 2, 8 plus 2, right? That's why value of I to the power 10 is minus 1. I to the power 11, it is like 4n plus 3 form, value is minus I. And I to the power 12, it is obviously I to the power 4n, value will be 1. So the minus 1 minus I plus 1, the value is going to be I, right? So our final answer here is I. So this is the shortcut method you can use for such kind of problems. So obviously for various problems you will have to adopt different methods. Now next question is, find the value of 2 plus 3i cube. I think if like you are asked to find out the cube, either you can multiply this brackets 2 plus 3i 3 times, or you can use the identity for the cube, right? A plus b cube formula, that is a cube plus thrice of, right, that is a cube plus thrice of a square b plus thrice of a b square plus b cube. Okay, we put all the values. 2 cube will be equal to 8, 3 into 2 square into 3, which is 36, into I, right? Then 54i square plus 27i cube. Now this is 8, 36i, I square is equal to minus 1, it is minus 54, and I cube is equal to minus I, so it is minus 27i. So the final answer is minus 46 plus 9i. Note that we can find the higher powers by the same method. I mean repeated multiplication we can do, but it's better, like in competitive examinations we can use the De Moivre's theorem to reach to the answers faster and in a like better way. So De Moivre's theorem we are going to learn in any other video. So the De Moivre's theorem is not the topic of this particular video, so we will study it later. So the next thing we want to learn in this video is to find out the square root of the complex number. Okay, so square root of the complex number. Let's start with example only. Find square root of 1 plus 4 root 3i. So we will go on with solution like, let under root of 1 plus 4 root 3i is equal to some complex number a plus ib, where a and b are reals. Okay, so squaring both the sides, what we will get is 1 plus 4 root 3i is equal to a plus ib. A plus ib whole square. Okay. Now a plus ib whole square is a square plus twice a ib plus ib whole square will be I square b square. Now I square is equal to minus 1, so it is a square minus b square plus twice abi. Now two complex numbers are equal if their real parts are equal. So obviously equating the real parts, a square minus b square must be equal to 1, and equating the imaginary part, twice ab must be equal to 4 root 3. Now as twice ab is equal to 4 root 3, a can be written as 2 root 3 upon b. This is the value we get. We will use this value and we will put this value in this equation. Okay, so what we get, 2 root 3 upon b whole square minus b square is equal to 1, which is 12 upon b square minus b square is equal to 1. So we have 12 upon 12, we will multiply this equation by b square, so we have 12 minus b to the power 4 is equal to b square. If we take all the terms on one side, it will be b to the power 4 plus b square minus 12. So this is the quadratic equation we have. Let b square is equal to m. So this equation becomes m square plus m minus 12 is equal to 0. This is the quadratic equation. Okay, so we will try to find out its roots. So we get two values here. So m plus 4 into m minus 3 is equal to 0. So either m is equal to minus 3 or m is equal to 4. But m cannot be equal to minus 3. Actually b is a real number, right? B was real number. Here we have taken b is real number, and b square, as it is b is a real number, b square cannot be negative. So we reject this value and we take m is equal to b square is equal to 4. So b square is equal to 4 gives us two values of b. So b is either plus 2 or minus 2. When b is equal to plus 2, right, we use this formula now. Again use this formula. Okay, so when b is equal to 2, a is equal to root 3, and when b is equal to minus 2, a is equal to minus root 3. So we have two roots now. Either it is root 3 plus 2i or minus root 3 minus 2i. These are the two values, I mean square roots, two square roots of this given number 1 plus 4 root 3i. You can use this method for any problem. Let's try to solve one more problem now. Find the square root of 4i. Again the same method. Let's consider that under root of 4i is equal to a plus ib. So where a and b are real, so 4i, that is squaring both the sides, we have 4i is equal to a square plus twice abi minus b square. So a square minus b square plus twice abi, equating real parts and imaginary parts. So a square minus b square must be equal to 0, and twice ab is equal to 4. Hence a is equal to, so a is equal to 2 upon b. Okay, a is equal to 2 upon b. So we put this value of a, which is equal to 2 by b, into this equation. A square minus b square is equal to 0. So 2 upon b whole square minus b square is equal to 0. Hence 4 upon b square minus b square is equal to 0. So we get b 4 minus b to the power 4 is equal to 0. So we have this equation, b to the power 4 minus 2 is equal to 0. So we can write b square minus 2 into b square plus 2 is equal to 0. But this gives us b square plus 2 is equal to 0, b square is equal to minus 2. But b square cannot be equal to minus 2 because b is the real number. Square of real number is never negative. So we have only one solution now here. B square is equal to 2, which gives us two values for b. B is equal to plus or minus root 2. Now using this equation, whenever b is equal to root 2, a will be equal to root 2, right? 2 upon root 2 is equal to root 2. And when b is equal to minus root 2, a is equal to minus root 2. So then we have two roots over here for this particular two solutions. Like under root of 4i can be either root 2 plus root 2i or minus root 2 minus root 2i. Now you can use these methods for many other problems to find out the square roots and all. I think this is enough for now. So all the best. We will study the remaining portion in the next video. Thanks.